Welcome back to Witchin' and Wine, and I'm your resident witch, Miranda.
Oh. I am your resident. Hold on. Wino Crystal.
I think she's already started.
No, I don't have a lot of room in here. So I am visiting friends in Virginia, and I'm in their closet.
I'm so jealous.
So they set me up. She cleaned out this big closet for me, gave me these pretty little starlights to hang in here, and gave me this big carafe of wine. She's so fancy. And I just accidentally banged it on the wall. But I had to situate. Anyways, so I'm in Virginia.
Because you're visiting your friends. Did you bring your girls with you, or is it just you?
Oh, yeah, I brought my girls, because all my friends here, all of their girls are my girls' best friends.
Oh, so it's like a full vacation for like everyone.
It's
full visiting friends vacation.
Yeah, it's like a week-long sleepover with 5 little girls.
That sounds amazing. But also a bit chaotic with 5 little girls.
I think by amazing, you mean exhausting?
I mean, I don't know what it's like to have little girls as children, so I imagine it could be exhausting.
Oh, yeah. But, I mean, it is awesome. They're having a blast. It's so great. We actually were here for, I think, a night or two, and then we all got in the car, and we drove to Delaware.
Oh. To Delaware? What did you do in Delaware?
Right? It's like Delaware?
Yes, exactly.
What is that? We saw a lot of corn and soybeans and chickens.
It's corn!
Because everywhere you go, that is all you see.
It's a big, lumpy knot in Massachusetts.
At least where we were, that's what it was. But we went to Delaware so we could stay at another friend's house that used to also live in Virginia when I did. And her daughter was having a birthday party. So where did we have that birthday party, since said area is filled with corn and soybeans? We drove to Maryland.
Oh. She was driving everywhere.
So then we went to Maryland. Yes. So this summer, I actually had to make a list because I couldn't remember all the places. I'm going to tell you. So this summer, by the time we get back, the girls and I will have been to Mississippi, Alabama, Texas, Virginia, Maryland, Delaware, and North Carolina.
Dude. Jealous. You know where I've been this break? This wonderful summer break?
Where?
I've been upstairs. I've been downstairs. No, honestly, I did drive to San Francisco to pick up a pair of pigeons for my husband.
What? He's got more pigeons?
No. That's when we drove to get his pigeons to San Francisco. And so I visited Davis. That's where my sister lives. So, you know.
How many pigeons do you have now?
3.
Oh, more than I thought. Okay.
They're all cute, and Adam needs to clean his pigeon cage more often because you gotta clean these cages every day. It's insane. Because the pigeons poop they poop a lot, and they're massive. They're like dog poops.
What? No
like
way.
The ones that he has, they're massive, like my little Denji boy.
So when they wear diapers, when they're flapping around your house and you have the little diapers on, do you have to, and you have to change their diaper? Do you have to like wet wipe their butt down?
No, because the diapers isn't pushed up against their feathers. Okay. It's like hanging below them.
Amazing conversation for this.
Anyway, today's episode is not on pigeon poop.
No.
It is on tarot cards and tarot readings.
Oh, I forgot to tell you my joke.
Oh, okay, what's your joke?
Okay, so we're in Delaware, right? Well, we were in Delaware, right? and all we saw was corn and soybeans all over the place. So I was like, man, Delaware is soy corny.
Oh my god. Soy corn. Okay. That's a good one. It's so bad, but it's so good.
It's so good. Oh my gosh.
I'm going to have to think of one too, but I'm not good at making jokes, but so it might take me the whole episode to figure it out.
As long as you get it.
I get the joke. I was saying if I could come up with my own joke, because
I want you, as long as you come up with one, we're great. We're gravy.
Right.
I couldn't think of what a pregnant spider was the other day, and then like 3 days later, I just jumped up and ran to my husband and I said, "Oh, it's gravid." And he said, "What are you talking about?" I was like, "Pregnant spiders. That's what it is."
They're called gravid?
Gravid.
Before they lay eggs?
When they're pregos. But it took me days to remember what that word was. Anyways.
I've never even heard that word before, okay. So I was today years old when I learned what a pregnant spider is called.
So this episode is not about pigeon poop or pregnant spiders.
Yes, we promise there's actual tarot content.
Okay. So what do you have prepared for tonight?
Okay, so for tonight I have quite a few stories that I got from the internet from people who do their own readings. And as somebody who also does her own readings, I believe a lot of them, most of them. Actually, I think I believe like all of them. Sometimes, you'll be at a fair or a farmer's market and you'll see a tarot reader or a palm reader and stuff. I've been to a couple who totally nailed it on the head, right? And I've been to a couple where immediately I was like, oh wow, this person has no idea what the fuck they are talking about. Yeah. Or, oh my gosh, this person is just giving me a general reading that could fit for anybody,
Yeah.
So, since I have been doing tarot since I was like 12, 13 years old, I mean, I'm not like professional because that's not like I do it every single day like some people do. But I've always felt that I was more, attuned to who people are. How people say, like, follow your gut feelings or, listen to your instincts or la-da-da. I feel like I have a rather large instinct, and even my husband could attest to this, but we're not sure if it's, my cat is trying to that's not my cat, that's my husband. I was like, my cat is opening the door.
What?
He's bringing in wet burritos.
What? Doritos?
Burritos, wet burritos. Like enchilada burritos, I guess, but they're wet burritos.
What? Okay.
If you don't like it, I'm sorry. I'll make you a regular one.
Okay, first of all, famous quotes from Miranda, that's not my cat, that's my husband. Second of all, wet burritos?
You lived in California, girl. You know what a wet burrito is?
I've never heard anybody call an enchilada a wet burrito.
But it's not exactly an enchilada. It's not an enchilada. It's a burrito, but it's wet because you put enchilada sauce on top.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah. See, growing up, I always thought those were enchiladas until going to school in New Mexico, we would have like food days and people would bring real enchiladas that their family made. And I was like, oh, dang. I thought this is enchiladas, and they're like, no, those are burritos. And so we started calling them in my family enchiritos.
Enchiritos, that's good. That's good.
Wet burrito does not sound appetizing.
It's yummy. Anywho, so my husband and I talk about like my, I guess you can say intuition, sixth sense, whatever. It's either it comes from because I lived a pretty terrible, not as terrible as some, but more terrible than others' childhood. So that could be a trauma response, having to be like on the lookout for, how people are going to react and how I should respond, and yada, yada, yada. Or it's come of that. Oh my gosh. Reset. Okay. Combination of that or actually being more intuitive. And I was like, maybe it's both because yes, I have some trauma in my past that's made me very hyper aware of other people, but I've given people readings where I don't even see them in person. Like I've done readings online via like message or email or things like that where I'm not even video chatting with the person. Like I don't even know who this person is besides their name, and I have pictures of them because I asked them to send me pictures. So maybe it's a combination of actually having like a sensitivity to things like that, or maybe a sensitivity because of trauma. Who knows?
Which
either way
affects how you read the cards, like what your interpretation of them is.
Could be. Yeah, I actually never considered it like that. But I just know either way, I go in waves when I'm doing my tarot readings. Like, there'll be a time where I'm doing a bunch of them for people, and then I'll really like freak myself out, and I'll stop doing it because I'm like, this is just getting too intense. Like, because some of the things that I will read for people have been very, very accurate, according to them, and I'm just like, how did I know that?
Yeah.
Like, I don't even know you. You know what I mean? Which I'll get more into later. Like my own personal story. But for now, what do you have?
I have some stories of predictions that came true through tarot, because a lot of people think that tarot cannot be used to predict the future, but it seems to be used that way a lot. Whether they're inaccurate or not.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, it could be the way they interpret the cards. Whether they actually have that intuition or not, they would interpret them correctly or incorrectly. So I have some stories about true readings. Are you shuffling?
I was scrolling through to see my Facebook chat feeds for some of these readings.
Oh, that would be interesting.
If I can. But honestly, I was going to ask if you can do your stuff first so I can be on mute and eat my wet burrito.
Oh, God. Sounds so gross. Yeah, you enjoy, girl.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I hit up Reddit pretty hard, and the first one was from a post on tarot, and what is your most insane prediction to ever come true? And it's by Reddit user jayemadd. They said a lot, but most notable is the story I like to tell people who say tarot can't be used to predict the future. My mom used to host these Christmas parties for her girlfriends every year. She would have food and drinks and then some sort of entertainment. One year, she hired this lady to come read tarot cards for the party. My mom had a tarot reading by her before and was really floored by her accuracy, so she figured it'd be super fun and different. The tarot reader had a rule that she didn't read cards for anybody under the age of 16. And because I was 11, I was not allowed to have my cards read. But my brother was 16, so he was allowed. Anyway, during the reading, the lady asked my mom if my dad had mentioned any plans of moving out of the country. My parents were divorced, and my dad was in the Navy, but he had zero plans to move abroad. My mom told the reader that my dad wouldn't leave his kids like that. He may stay overseas for a month at a time, but he would never live over there. I mean, I saw him every other weekend, and it was at the point where he was discussing with my mom to have me over every weekend. The reader insisted that the energy was weird. He's just here, and then suddenly very far away. My brother got his cards read, and a similar message came up with my dad. The reader said something along the lines of, your relationship with him will exist in more of a mental state. She saw distance as well and assumed that my dad would be stationed overseas for quite a while, longer than his usual month stay. 2 weeks later, my dad was shot and killed during an armed robbery. My mom ended up calling the tarot reader back and telling her what happened. She asked if she saw his death, but the reader kept saying she never saw death per se, just him being very, very far away.
Wow, okay.
Yeah.
That one gave me a little bit of chills.
And then that makes you think, okay, so maybe there is something after death, if she's gone, he's just far away.
Yes. And that's like, I have like death anxiety and stuff, but when I do the readings or if I hear stories like this or whatever, it makes me feel better because I'm like, yeah, so many people are having these experiences or doing these readings and it's so accurate. Like with all of these people doing things that are accurate like this or having these shared experiences or unexplainable things, you're like, okay, there's something.
Yes. And maybe the next episode we could talk about like after death experiences, people that have come back, what they experienced when they had passed.
Yeah.
So my next story is also from Reddit on tarot. Any predictions came true with tarot cards, please? 5 years ago by Scatterbrain80. Any predictions came true with tarot cards, please share. My story took place well over a year ago. I had a falling out with someone who was very dear to me. The friendship became very toxic, and we just weren't seeing eye to eye. This was all due to so many misunderstandings from both parties. It got to the point where my friend was being extremely cruel and insulting towards me. Sometimes he had something he had never done, so I decided to cut off the friendship because it was becoming a habit of his. This happened around January of 2018. I have known my friend for over 10 years, and if there's one thing I never liked or appreciated about him was his pride. I was utterly hurt, and deep down I felt like he'd never apologize or see his mistake. I had a deck of tarot cards and decided to try them out. I asked if he would come back, and I kept getting the message of someone returning. I didn't believe it, and would pick up the cards, shuffle them again, and lay them out. Same message. I left them alone for a few months. I tried doing another reading around April or May of 2018, and once again the message was returning, reconciliation. At that point, I figured it must mean an ex was returning. On July of 2018, I get a text message from my friend asking if I had blocked him from all forms of communication. 6 months after our falling out. I was shocked. I even got chills writing this. He apologized and said he missed our friendship. Needless to say, we made up and are friends again. Till this day, I can't explain it, but the experience made me a firm believer in tarot cards.
I've had similar things like that where you don't understand, well, not to say don't understand, but you don't want to believe an answer. And so you do it over and over.
Or you just think there's no way that could be real.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. I think exactly. There's, like my husband, he's very, like, skeptical to all of this in general, but he has had me do tarot readings for him, like he says, just for fun, you know?
Yeah.
And one specifically I did for him a few years back, he was, I don't really know exactly what he was asking, that the question was, like, personal to him, so he didn't, like, tell me, but I knew it was about the idea of polyamory, and, like, kind of seeing if the person he was talking to was good, or, like, what direction that would go.
Right.
And in essence, that reading pretty much said that this woman is crazy, there's going to be a lot of difficulty, you know, and that was before they even started, like, flirting. Before, but he still tried to, you know, flirt with, like, talk to her and whatever, right, and obviously it didn't end up working out, because that woman was crazy.
And now she's gonna listen to this, she's just gonna be like, who, me?
Yes, you. Yes, she was pretty much trying to cowgirl him, pretty much, like, rope him away from me, and she wouldn't want to say that they were dating because it needed to be proven that, how he would treat her, or something like that, to that effect, right? And then, because Adam and, like, my husband and I, we do dates a lot, you know, just for us. And then somehow she convinced us to only have dates once a month because it was somehow unfair to her that I get to have dates with him more often because I live with him and I see him every single day and da-da-da-da. So she convinced us to reduce our dates, and they were able to go on weekly dates if, you know. But they never even got to that point because she went crazy before they could even start doing weekly dates. But that was the end of that. I know that was a total caveat, but had something to do with tarot.
I shouldn't even know what polyamory is.
I know. She would always tell me, like, wow, if my husband asked me, there'd be no way I would do this. Like, just no way, and blah, blah, blah. And she was like, well, if it gets serious, like, you know, he would have to live in 2 different houses. And I was like, the fuck he would?
No.
Like, no.
He would
I'm
live
not
with
gonna
his
have
child
like,
and his wife.
Yeah, he's not going to be half a daddy, for one. No. And I'm like, if it ever got into, like, a serious thing like that, I was like, you would not only commit to him, but you would have to commit to me, too, as, like not relationship-wise, but commit to me that I would be a part of your life, too. Exactly, a family. And, like, we want to be in one house. We would want to be in one house, not 2 houses. What the fuck? Anyway. That's, you know, not a thing anymore, you know.
Man. Crazy.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, my next one is from Reddit, and it was under the post, have you ever seen a fortune teller, and had their, it cut off. I don't know why I can't read the rest of it, but it's under the group Paranormal. It was 11 years ago, and the person has since deleted their account, but their story is still here. And it says, my own mother is actually a scarily talented tarot card reader, but rarely does it anymore. She says she sees ghosts here and there, but makes it out like it's no biggie. I would say, she could be making it up, but I often used to sit and listen to her do readings for people. She's never been paid to do so. And one particular reading had stood out. It was a family friend's cousin. Are you eating your burrito?
Can you hear me chew? I'm sorry.
You and your wet burrito.
Sorry. I'll beat myself. I forgot.
So Dude Bro's mom is reading. He remembers a particular reading that she did. It was a family friend's cousin who was in town, and they were both over for coffee, and Mom gave the cousin a reading. This lady was in a very long-term relationship at the time, like 5 years. So she was hoping to see an engagement coming up. So the reading basically said that within 6 months, she'll be living with a new man and have a baby on the way. The cousin laughed it off. 6 months later, living with a new guy she met and had a baby on the way. I thought it was creepy. She also predicted when my first relationship was going to end and gave me an exact time frame. So that was good too, I guess. That's a pretty detailed reading.
I have to agree with that, yeah.
Crazy. So.
Okay. How about I read a couple of mine?
Yeah.
So you're not just sitting there reading. And I did scrap down half a burrito.
Go for it.
Okay. So mine also came from a Reddit thread, and it was, "What's your 100% crazy accurate tarot card reading story?" by Guitar96. So Guitar96. Okay, so there are so many readings on this one, but a lot of mine are kind of short. There are a couple that are a bit longer, but this first one is by MysricKei. And it says, "When I was a teen, I developed a crush on a slightly older, more mature than my former boyfriend, guy. We frequently flirted, and things were going... Hold on, my screen just went blank. Okay, and things were going perceptively well between us. But every time I did a reading about him, almost daily if not more, I got the Fool card. Originally, I thought it meant I was being foolish for pursuing a rebound relationship, but the card seemed persistent to represent him specifically. This was pre-internet. My only references were my 2 books that came with decks and my notes from when I was taught. So, I was reluctant to progress the relationship. After a bit of life took over and I had to focus on other things and moved on. A few years later, when I was in town, I ran into him. He was still chasing teen girls. Ew. It doesn't make me say, dang, I'm good, but it definitely was crazy accurate."
Ew.
I know. Like, what was it? Oh, yeah. I was on TikTok the other day, and it was like this girl who was an exotic dancer, and she told a joke that was like, why do white Republican men like girls with no tattoos? And the answer was like, because it's a clear indicator that they're not minors. She was saying that whenever she would perform, if she wanted to just like make a certain amount of money and just be done for the night, she would cover up all of her tattoos and dress more like she was younger. Yeah, and she would make a lot of money and she'd be able to leave early. And I'm like, that's just freaking disgusting. What is wrong with people?
Ew.
Like, what the fuck? What is wrong? Anywho.
Thought of it makes me nauseous.
And in that case, I'm like, I need more tattoos. Keep those white Republican dudes away from me. I'm good. Anyway, the next story I have is called, it's by by Reddit user Revengeofkittenhead.
Okay.
So it says, not readings I have done, but where there have been indeed some ones that I have done, but by far the craziest was someone else had done for me. There were tons of pentacles. She predicted that I would meet a man the following spring and that money would be a big part of our relationship. They were using the Morgan Greer deck, and one of the cards was the Knight of Pentacles, which was to represent him. March of the next year, I started a relationship with a man, and a big part of our early relationship was trying to start a production company together, and we got a joint bank account the second month we knew each other.
Oh, hell
He is a Taurus and looks exactly like the man on the Morgan Greer Knight of Pentacles. That was over 9 years ago, and we have been married for 5.
Wow. Well, she got really lucky because getting a bank account with some random dude that you barely know could have gone terribly wrong.
I know. Like, I share bank accounts with my husband, but we didn't start that until we got married.
And you've been married for a very long time.
Yeah. We've been married for 13 years, I think.
Almost, right?
Mm.
Yeah.
Huh?
Isn't your anniversary coming up?
It is. It's coming up August 2nd.
Yeah. And that'll be 13, right?
I think so, yeah, because I got married in 2011. Right?
Man.
I don't know. Anyway, mathing is not on my brain today. Like, I am a teacher on summer break, so I still need to count with my fingers right now.
Yeah, everyone keeps asking me, when do you go back to school? And I'm like, I don't know. I don't want to think about it until I have to.
Exactly. I'm like, that's a week before's problem, not now.
Exactly. This is summer break. Okay.
Leave me alone and let me sleep.
I stay after school until it's late. I don't get home until it's almost bedtime, and I still do work when I get home, and I do work on the weekends. Teachers work constantly. So when summer comes around, we don't even get a whole summer. You have to go to professional development and meetings and stuff all throughout the summer. So what little tiny breaks I get, just leave me the F alone.
And not to mention, for me, I'm still getting emails that I have to respond to because I'm a special education teacher, and then I have the admissions being like, hey, here is the student's IEP who wants to join the campus. Can we accommodate their needs? Blah, 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 blah. Next one I have, I'll do 2 more and then you can go. Okay. Next one I have is from user Pilgrim51. And it says, just a few weeks ago, I was doing my daily 3-card pull to the question I always ask, which is, what do you think I need to know for today? I got the 8 of Wands, the Empress, and the Page of Wands, which is a classic pregnancy spread. I'm 71, so I knew it wasn't me. I was pretty sure it wasn't either of my middle-aged daughters, nor my granddaughters, although I wasn't absolutely sure of that, but it was unlikely. My sister-in-law has 3 granddaughters. The oldest, with the toddler, I thought it might be her. The middle one was just married 6 months ago, and the youngest is single and unattached. Well, during a visit with sister-in-law, she announced that the middle one was pregnant with a son. It was all I can do to keep from bouncing up and down in my seat saying, I knew it! Inwardly, I was doing just that, but of course, I never talk tarot with these folks. They already think I'm the weird of the family.
The fun one, I think you mean.
You know what's funny about that, too? I was just, again, scrolling through TikTok because I'm on TikTok a lot these days because it's summer. So I was scrolling through TikTok and I randomly get this reading of saying, someone says, I smelled pregnancy on you. I smelled twins. I'm like, it really gives me I smell children from Hocus Pocus.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they were I think this was 4 or 5 days ago, pretty much saying I smell a pregnancy on you. And then I started getting a bunch of pregnancy things and stuff like that.
Wait, they're saying it about you?
Yes, pretty much saying, if you came across this video, you'd be pregnant, that sort of thing. I smelled children. And the ones I was coming across were for twins.
Oh my god. No.
I know. I was can you imagine? Can you imagine?
No.
That'd be crazy. Wow. I will keep you updated if, it turns out I'm pregnant.
That'd be crazy.
It would be crazy.
You'd have to move to Arkansas.
Why? Are you going to help me take care of my babies?
Because any reason I can get you to move to Arkansas.
I mean, you know what? It would be hard to have 2 parents working and who, honestly, I was thinking, I'm how would I survive? How would we survive? We have this big old house. We need both of our paychecks. How? I would need to convince somebody to move in with me. Be my nanny. Want to buy a big old compound house? Your family, my family.
We have rent houses. You can stay.
Rent houses? You wouldn't want to live with me?
Yeah. It would be really good fun, a compound. That'd be awesome.
Anything's possible. Girl. Alright. Here's my next one. This is from user Taccojc. This isn't so much a dang, I'm good.
Sorry, hold up. Taccojc, you got a story you want to talk about?
I'm going to talk about his story.
Let's talk about it. Okay, go ahead.
This isn't so much a dang, I'm good, as a maybe there's something to this tarot thing. My wife bought a RWS tarot deck, but didn't like it, so I kind of inherited it. Started to do daily spreads, and the tower kept coming up. At the time, the house we were renting had been sold out from under us, and we were scrambling to find a place, so I figured it was that. But something told me it was more than that. Then one day, my wife and I were arguing, and we both said at the same time we weren't happy. My relationship with my wife had been burning around me, and I was oblivious until the whole thing toppled. And then I realized the tower wasn't about my house, but about my family and marriage, and our relationship needed to end so we can create something new and more durable. So we did. It was immensely painful. The tower always is for me, but it was worth it. I still effing hate the card, though. It doesn't come up nearly as much anymore, but when it does, you can be sure I pay attention. That one's sad. I know.
Sad, but I mean, hopefully, it turned out well.
Yeah, he said it turned out well,
Yeah.
And it was more durable, and, so that's good. It's just having to go through all those struggles.
Yeah.
What's the expression like? When you break a bone, it heals stronger or something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah.
How many more do you have?
I have, let me see. 20, I have like 21. I don't have to do all of them. I just wrote down a lot because the last time when we came, it was like so short. So I was like, I'm just going to make sure there's a ton.
I don't even know how you found that many. It was so hard for me to find some. You said you have 21 left?
Mm-hmm.
I've got 6.
Okay, so we'll just do a couple you, a couple me until you run out.
Okay.
All
I'll
right.
do 1 and then you do like 4.
Okay.
Okay. So this one was from 5 years ago. The person deleted their account, but it was also on the tarot Reddit. So this was probably my first time doing a reading for anyone outside of my family. A friend of my sister had come over, along with her boyfriend at the time. She was interested in getting a reading done, perhaps just to indulge me, but oh well. I wasn't saying no to the opportunity. Now, I was around 13 or 14 years old, so I don't recall what the exact spread was or what the cards were like. But the obvious interpretation was that she was about to have some sort of romantic betrayal, and everyone in the room went, "Oh, it probably means her boyfriend is cheating on her, LOL." My friend was a little shaken, and my sister just told her not to take it seriously because it was obviously just bullshit. Then a few days later, I learned from my sister that her friend broke up with her boyfriend because she happened to go through his phone and realized that he'd been cheating on her for the better part of their relationship with a married woman. That was when I was like, this be freaky, but I like it. LOL. If you have to go through your partner's phone, then you already have problems. Just the fact that you feel like you need to be doing that.
100%, dang.
Then you have issues. Either you have trust issues, or there's something going on in your relationship already that's causing problems that to make you even think that it's okay to do something like that. Like, you should have trust. But anyways. Okay, so this one, the person deleted their account. It was under the Reddit Paranormal from 11 years ago. It said, it's very short. It says, a lady read my tarot, and she would constantly grab her left side, saying I had a tumor in my abdomen. During my pregnancy, I had severe kidney-related pain, and they saw an orange-sized tumor near my uterus, but nothing dangerous for me or a baby. I had it removed after birth, and all was fine and dandy. I believe now. That's one of those things where I feel like that reader had some type of gift. It's not just, oh, I'm going to go buy some cards and try and read them based on what this book over here tells me they mean. Like, this reader has some kind of insight, some kind of sixth sense or something, because she obviously went a little deeper and detailed about it. Okay, so the next one, this person also deleted their account. Okay, before I go on, I'm just gonna say, if you keep hearing like footsteps or what sounds like banging or something, I want to remind you I am in a closet at a friend's house.
Oh, okay.
This is like a Harry Potter closet, so I'm under the stairs. So you might hear them going up and down every now and then.
Okay.
Anyways, so I have been the tarot reader who had given an accurate telling before. I read a friend's cards years ago, told her a father figure in her life was sick. I specifically mentioned that it was something he would not get better from, and this was all in the near future. I used a modified Celtic cross spread. We left it at that. 3 months later, she calls me. Her voice was very quiet, and all she said was, "You were right." Turned out her father was diagnosed with terminal kidney cancer, and he passed away about 2 years later.
Oh.
Yeah. 2, 3, 4. I've got 4 left. What you gonna do?
Alright, I'm gonna do a little bit more of mine.
Okay.
So, this user was also deleted, but it said, after my friend died, I pulled a card for her and it was the moon. She was born on a full moon and died on a full moon.
Aww.
And she loves all things moon. So I felt really comforted, like she was with me. 6 months ago, I was with her partner, another of my good friends, at the pub she ran, and me and him both worked at. I was doing tarot for him because I'm the only one other than her who knows how to do it, who he knows. Me and her used to practice together. Anyway, the first card pull I pulled is the moon. I don't tend to do reversals, but this one was reversed and pointing upright at him. We both knew the significance, so we put the card leaning against a glass of Prosecco, the glass of Prosecco that we bought for her in her honor, and said we knew she was with us. About an hour later, I shuffled the moon card back into the deck, and he asked if he could pull a card. I said sure. He shuffled them and pulled the card, and it was the moon, facing right at him. We both just burst into tears. I truly believe she was with us that night. I always have her with me when I'm reading tarot.
Oh.
Yeah, that one's really sweet.
It's sad and sweet.
Yeah. My next story says, Misplaced-psu. It says, I have 2. So, I had been dating this guy for like a month. After a date in which I felt like I was starting to fall for him, I decided to do a reading of 3 cards. One for me, one for him, and a conclusion. My card doesn't really matter in the story. For him, I got the reversed world. At the moment of the reading, I wrote down, everything is great, you're almost there, but something is missing. And I thought that probably we just needed some more time together to know each other more. Finally, I got the Fool. No explanation needed. A week later, he sent me a text that said, everything about you is great, but I feel like something is missing for me to be able to start a proper relationship. We should just stay friends. The way my heart effing dropped. By the way, in case you were curious, I didn't stay friends since I was not feeling the same, but I decided to explain to him just that and go no contact, and I'm okay now.
Hey.
Yeah. I mean, even some things like that, too. Like, if you're in a blossoming relationship or a friendship or something, like, sometimes you could tell it's off, you know?
Yeah.
Something's a little off. And,
Definitely.
yeah, chalk it down to intuition, a trauma response, who knows, but it sometimes is a little off. Like, I have a friend who I swear, I know what she's feeling like all the time, and she gives me these excuses for one thing or another, but I always know the real reason, and I'm like, girl, just tell me that your social battery is run out, like, you don't have to make up a lie. Huh?
Am I that friend?
No, you were not that friend.
Oh.
I wish I was around you enough to know you and to feel your emotions.
Oh.
You know what? There's this place in Michigan that will give teachers, if you work at their school district, $20,000 towards the down payment of a house. We can move to Michigan.
Well, you know what? 2 of my best friends that I'm visiting here, they are from Michigan, and all of their family is in Michigan.
I mean,
I think we should all just move to Michigan.
I think we should all just move to Michigan.
I've never been
And it's
there,
pretty
but-
close to the border, you know.
Yeah.
That's nice. And they'll pay you $20,000 for a down payment for a house.
Okay.
Anyway. My next story. This is from Reddit user Theo_died.
Oh.
It says, I'll never forget one of the first readings I did for someone over the internet. Queerant asked about a breakup she had recently gone through. I can't remember the cards, this was years ago, but it was clear to me from the get-go of the reading that she was a third party, and so I framed the reading around that. There were other details, but I can't remember much more than that. I sent the reading off, very nervous, and I don't hear back from her, so I figure I must have been wrong. Maybe doing tarot for others isn't my forte. Well, months go by, and I hear back from the querent. She admits that the reading didn't resonate at first, but then later found out that her ex-boyfriend was 1, gay, 2, had been in a long-term relationship with another man, so she was the third party. I've had eerie moments since. I now read professionally part-time, but this one sticks out to me because it made me realize I could trust my intuition and the cards, and to keep my ego out of the equation. I'm gonna tell one of my own personal stories that I had with because this one was like the first internet read. This is for an internet read. Again, I don't remember the exact cards, but it was pretty much like her life situation. She was like kind of stuck and, she doesn't know what to do. And so when I'm doing the cards for her, I'm texting her and I'm like, wait, so you're with a man who you don't actually, you love him, but you know that you shouldn't, or that he's not good for you, but you feel like you don't have any other choice to be with him and then I was like, I know this is going to sound very crazy, very specific. Did your house just burn down? And she was like, oh my God, yes. And she told me, she was like, her house just burned down and she had nowhere else to go. So she felt like she had to live with her boyfriend who she wanted to break up with, because she felt like she didn't have anything. And I said, girl, what I'm seeing here is if you stay with him, your mental state, like your life is just going to spiral. Like you think it's going to be hard to leave him and like you don't know where to go. Trust that there is somebody, like someplace out there for you to land while you like pick yourself up. Just because your house burned down does not mean you got to stay with this like abusive asshole. Man. And yeah, that was crazy. I was like, I don't even like, there's not even a tarot card that says that, oh, your house burned down. You know what I mean?
Do you know?
But it was just like this.
Left him?
I don't know if she left him or not.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah. But yeah, she was just like, oh, that is insane. And I'm like, I know it's insane. And I'm like, I'm sorry that you're living with an asshole. Like that sucks.
Get out. Get out of the relationship.
Mm-hmm. And that was like one of the tarot readings that were more so like kind of freaked me out. So I stopped doing tarot for a few months because I'm like, how did I get that impression? Like, where did that come from? And I was scared of where I got that information from. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I was like, ooh, I shouldn't be. I was like, what if it's a bad person? I was like, it can't be a bad spirit because I always say like, I always have my own protections and stuff, and only my like real and true and guardians and spirit guardians, whatever. But yeah, that one kind of freaked me out. Oh, show.
Well, then I can't wait till you do a reading for me, because if you're that freaking accurate, man.
I'm going to use a brand new deck with you. My brand new deck.
Awesome.
So we'll see how that goes. I have so many tarot decks I collect. I feel like they're good. Like certain decks are good for certain situations.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. So this one
I really loved, but I don't know what happened to it in one of our moves. So
oh no!
I know it's kind of weird to buy one from Walmart.
No, it doesn't matter where you get it from.
I recently did buy one from Walmart because I can color them.
Oh, that's amazing!
Yeah, it's like color. They're actual like real quality cards. But you can use, your markers or whatever, and I'm using color pencils, but you can color them and decorate them how you want to decorate them.
I love that.
And it comes with the book to try and help you understand what it means and all of that. I'm pretty excited about it.
Okay. I'll do one more and then you can do another one?
Yeah, and then you can do like 5. Okay.
All right. This is from Reddit user future_inspector_892. And it says, my first paid reading, the first card I pulled was the Empress reversed. I asked the client how has she healed from the loss of her child. She went hysterical, like, how did I know? Did the card really show it, etc.? All things considered, it was a sad reading, but she became a top client of mine for 2 years. Another one that was later in the year. First card pulled for a different client was 5 of Wands. I told her that it's time for her to mature and walk away from fights. She burst into laughter because she just had a group fight at the club. She was so tacky, but one of my favorite clients. On TikTok, I pulled cards about DMX's condition and predicted he wouldn't make it. I did the reading in the evening, and the news broke on his passing the next morning. The video went semi-viral, and I actually received a lot of backlash for it and deleted and reposted the video. I wasn't trying to be insensitive, but was a curious fan. I also predicted the Queen's death, and right now I have a pending prediction on Mick Jagger's health.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
Yeah, that is interesting. Call me, girl. Give me a reading.
You go.
Okay, so this is from 11 years ago. It's from PinkieLaMandy. And it says, my mom had one come true that she performed for herself while my grandparents and I were on our way back from my out-of-state university. The spread from her description predicted illness, despair, all sorts of negative things in the near future. 8 hours after me and my grandparents got home the day after, I was in ICU with a rare, very serious bacterial pneumonia and infection of the lining of my lung. I had to be operated on, coded on the operating table, was in a coma for 2 days, and hospitalized for a further 10 before being bedridden at home, recovering from major surgery for yet another 3 weeks. She has never, and swears she never will, get the cards out again.
That's frightening. That's freaky deaky right there.
The next one is from somebody called EgregiousWeasel. It's from 11.
That's hilarious. I like that.
A lady I've gone to several times is pretty accurate. The first time I saw her, she told me my current boyfriend was not for me, and that his attention was veering away toward another woman. I didn't believe her at the time, but it turned out she was right. He was seeing another woman who he eventually married. When I was seeing someone else, there was a woman who was always texting him, and it turned out they were messing around. The tarot reader said that this woman was someone from his past, a recycled relationship that didn't mean anything to him. That also turned out to be true. I couldn't have given her clues about it because I had no idea at the time of the reading. Regarding another boyfriend, she also said he was not for me, but that we would remain friends. She said that I would help him through a breakup. I moved to another city for a 6-month assignment, and we broke up. We didn't really speak for the time I was away, and he started dating another woman. When I moved back, I wasn't all that interested in being friends with him, but we started talking and having coffee together at work. Eventually, he started talking about his girlfriend, the one he started dating after me, saying that he loved her, but she was mean to him a lot. I ended up supporting him through their breakup. I was sure the tarot lady was wrong about this one because it didn't seem like something I would do, but it turned out to happen.
Oh, really?
So I've got 2 left. If you want to read however many you want to read, and then I'll read these.
Alrighty. This next story comes from Reddit user Jasondoestarot. And Jason writes, I was attempting to do my first Celtic cross spread, and I was doing it on camera. My original plan was to learn to do tarot in the open, totally transparent. The camera was on and recording, and I was going to show the world my process of learning to do the Celtic cross in real time. I pulled my first card, and I don't remember all of the cards, but the first one was totally me. The next one was about obstacles, and it was the 3 of Swords, heartbreak, loss, grief. Then I laid the root/base/foundation card and got the Emperor, and my heart sank, and I immediately fell into tears. I turned off the camera and finished the reading. It ended up going into great detail about my father's passing and how to heal my heart so that I could help others with tarot. A reading that was supposed to be a demonstration and was not supposed to be about me ended up uncovering some truly deep feelings, answered so many questions I had, and helped me heal and grow from it. Tarot will always have my love and utmost respect. Yeah.
It could be
I don't
really
like doing
good.
tarot readings on myself.
I mean, I could see how that would be a problem, but I feel like it could also be very cathartic.
Mm-hmm.
Like really good therapy because it makes you look in more at yourself, be more what's the word I'm trying to think of? Introspective?
The next one is from Reddit user Sumikopop. I was in college. I had just gotten my first deck and tested out reading one of my roommates. She asked about some guy she was talking to at the time, wondering what he was feeling from his end. I shuffle the cards and allow her to pick from the deck. I'm looking at the cards she picked, and one of them was the Six of Swords. I tell her something along the lines of, well, he might still be getting over parts of his last relationship and holding himself back a little. I kid you not, the second I say that, her phone buzzes. It was a text from him saying, sorry if it feels like I'm holding back. I'm still getting over things from my ex.
Weird.
I know. That like, oh gosh, I imagine to her that it happened to, she's gonna be like, remember that time?
Yeah.
Like, to her group of friends now, she is the ultimate baddie. Please read my tarot. Read mine. Okay, this next one is from Prairiedefrene. It says, I did readings once to a girl I was working with. Let's call her A. I was a newbie, still am because I don't practice a lot, and I struggled interpreting my readings. So I did it for the girl and pretty much told her that she has a lot of social convictions and that she was very passionate about. Then there was a card about her having friends that I couldn't interpret, and I was like, you have a lot of friends, I guess? And another one about her being hot-tempered and always going to war for what was right in her mind. Then again, another one about her friends. Mind you, I had started that job a week or two prior, so I didn't know the girl. She explained to me that she was indeed very engaged in a lot of different, and then I think there's a typo because there's nothing. Essentially, she was clueless about the friendship cards. The very next day, I show up to work, and I'm being told that girl A got into a heated fight with another coworker she was friends with. The other coworker made an ignorant joke about child labor, and girl A got pissed off because coworker and girl A were tight. The coworker felt offended that girl A got angry at her and then snapped back. It escalated from there to the point that girl A had to be sent home. Turns out, the reading was saying that she was about to fight a friend. Another time I was doing temp work, I did a reading for myself. It told me that I was about to be betrayed, but I needed to stay calm. It said that how I reacted would determine where I'll go, so I needed to keep myself in check and be patient. Very next day, I show up to work to be told that due to monetary issues, the department I was working with had to cut back some people, and so me and 3 other people were fired. 2 of the people that were there got upset, rightfully so. The other person didn't care, so they didn't react, and I was about to be upset, but I remembered what the card said, so I just kept calm as much as I could. Turns out, a manager from another department saw our reactions and asked that the other calm person and I joined their team. Like, they asked to make room for us despite the fact that they could barely afford it. That's kind of cool. You know, her intuition told her, or them, I don't know if it's boy or girl, their intuition told them to, like, be calm because you're about to lose your job, I guess, something terrible.
Yeah.
And they actually ended up keeping a job, which is kind of cool.
For some emotional changes.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think in general it's good to keep calm and not have big reactions because, you know, we're not toddlers throwing a tantrum. I tell you, I've seen some grown-ass adults throw tantrums like toddlers.
Absolutely, but people just forget you can only control as much as you are able to, and the rest you just need to let go and let live.
There's a next story. It's from Skedoozy.
Oh, I
like
bet this story is a doozy.
It must be a doozy. A reading I did a couple of weeks ago, I was asking for advice on a relationship and its direction. I pull by just shuffling until a card falls out. One card at a time and asking a new question based on a previous one. This was the craziest pull I had ever done. Not only did the cards seem accurate at the time, each card's basic prediction came true since. And thank Hecate I listened to the advice given to me in these cards because it's turned out exactly as I would have hoped, and what I had hoped was far from from reality I imagined that would happen. Not to mention that there are only the 3 knights and death that are riding horses in my deck, so for those 3 to fall out one at a time as I was shuffling was crazy. I wonder if I had pulled one more I would have gotten the other night. I regret not doing so at the time now. Glory to Hecate, though, because this pull was in the middle of a series of events that could only be explained supernaturally at the very least, and a calling from Hecate to help see my way through a very trying time and a turning point in my life. So basically this guy was saying, because like this deck, there's only 4 cards in this deck that they're riding horses, and 3 of them fell out as they were shuffling, and apparently it was very significant. So like, what are the odds?
Interesting.
Yeah, that one was like, okay, cool.
What a doozy.
What a doozy. Okay, you can do your 2.
Okay.
Okay.
So, the next one, okay. So the question that was posted under the Reddit tarot was, what the most accurate, almost creepy tarot read?
What?
Yeah.
Okay.
And one of the responders was digitalchili, posted 1 year ago. I was talking to someone very toxic a few years ago, and I got every warning card. Tower, Devil, Death, 3 of Swords, 10 of Swords, 9 of Swords, more than any other card in the deck, daily about his intention. I ignored them. It turned out he was gaslighting and manipulating me. He was at that time, an undiagnosed schizophrenic with severe delusions. Not only this, but with the same man, I read he would end up meeting a Pisces woman who he would fall head over heels with. Within 2 days, he came to me saying he'd met a woman who turned out to be a Pisces, and they dated for 2 years, and it broke my heart. My tarot tried to warn me of the anguish I had coming. I'm still working through the trauma to this day. Moral of the story, when it's serious, the universe will pull out all the stops and alarms to let you know. Listen.
Yeah. Listen, people. Nothing drives me more crazy than like a delusional person in love or thinking that they're going to be in love and they ignore the red flags.
Yeah.
Just like,
well,
they're literally telling you.
They're like this person, they were being gaslighted.
That's true.
Gaslighted all the effing time by this person, just by being so manipulative and gaslighting. They're probably also narcissists. I mean, I'm not a doctor, but that's what I would think. And when you are in that type of relationship with someone that has narcissistic tendencies, you're pretty much brainwashed, and it's really, really hard to get out from under their thumb.
Agree.
Okay, so my last one is it's actually not from Reddit. It is from tarotforum.net, and it was submitted by Kaylee Marie. A few months after I started learning tarot, my dad suddenly became deathly ill. The doctors told my mom to start looking into funeral arrangement. I pulled a single card to see how he would fare. It was the 6 of Swords, which can mean recovery, albeit a long and possibly painful one. I told my mom, and my dad came out of the coma shortly thereafter. His health has never been the same, but he definitely did recover.
Aww.
Being a tarot novice, this completely freaked me out. I had all but written him off as dead in my mind, and here the tarot told me a very different and accurate future. I wouldn't touch the cards for months afterwards. I just didn't want to know the future, that I had that sort of power. I eventually got over it, and to this day, when we talk about my dad's illness, my mom never fails to bring up that reading. She's convinced that tarot is accurate and real and doesn't care if others think she's a nutter for saying so.
I feel that person. You know how I said, like, I freaked myself out and stopped doing it. Yep. Yeah. Me and them are the same.
When you were talking about that, doing it for yourself, that's what it made me think of this one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's just, and also like for me personally, if I'm doing it for myself, I'm like, I feel like I have a good introspection of my own brain. I don't know. Like I've never really felt the need for clarification of my own mind, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But I'll do it about situations that like I'm a part of, I guess. Like if there's a friendship that's like souring or like somebody I feel is being sketchy or something, then that's different. All right. My next story is from Magna Guitar 96. First, I have 2 stories. One, I was starting out in tarot, and it was only a few months since I got into it. At the time, the Depp versus Heard trial was a big thing all over the media and internet, so I was curious and decided to read it.
Debt?
Off the top of my head.
Wait, hold on. I want to look this up real quick. Debt versus Heard?
The Depp versus Heard, the Johnny Depp versus Amber Heard.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. That's what I heard. Got it. I don't even know that.
Off the top of my head, I can't remember the first 3 cards that popped out, but I remember the feeling of overwhelming sense of male energy. One thing I remembered was I read it in 2 different views, general and relationship, and the judgment in reverse kept appearing throughout the reading. When I was clarifying the first card, 3 cards popped out that I believe described Heard came out, and I'll never forget. So these 3 cards she thinks described Amber Heard. The Devil, Queen of Wands reversed, and 7 of Swords. Overall, I felt in the end that it was Depp who may win and Heard would get something to keep her quiet. And when the verdict came out, my jaw was legit on the floor.
Oh, I don't know what the verdict was.
Oh, it was in favor of Johnny Depp.
Okay.
Second story. It was the week Queen Elizabeth II passed away, and I just got the Kipper Victorian Oracle deck. I wanted to test the cards out, so I asked about the royal family and got these 6 cards. Wealthy man, change, marriage, high honor, family room, and coffin. Suffice to say, it was kind of creepy.
Yeah.
Okay, this next one is a bit longer, and it's by Reddit user Cyansky1911. I do spirit work, and I'm starting to get into more death work, kind of inspired by this reading, actually. So my friend from work knew I read tarot and decided to come over to my place, have a few drinks, and hang out. She asked me if I could do a reading for her to see if her grandmother is near her at all. Disclaimer, as I said, she was a coworker, and I didn't know very much about her personal life at the time, nor did I know anything about her grandmother. I don't even know if it's her paternal or maternal grandmother to this day, and we're close friends now. Anyway, we settle into me doing a reading, and I do a pretty extensive one. I ask if she's here, if she has any messages for my coworker specifically, and on top of those, a couple of cards shot out. I read them, and I told her that her grandma was trying to be closer, but was frustrated because she couldn't be for some reason, that she seemed to think my coworker would know about why. I kept getting cards about inheritance, and I asked my coworker if her grandmother had left her any jewelry, as I kept getting that word in my head over and over. My coworker opened mouth, stared at me, and asked how I knew about her jewelry. Apparently, her grandma was, known for her jewelry, and she insisted that my coworker go through it when she passed to have a piece of her with her, but due to family issues, she hasn't been able to even see the pieces after her grandma's passing. Apparently, that was part of the reason she asked me, because she felt guilty about it. Her grandmother also warned her about her husband. 6 months later, cheated on her while deployed, and initiated divorce before he even got back. They have a 2-year-old together, too. And I told her to go back to school. I had no idea, but she had never graduated high school, and she was considering getting her GED, but felt a lot of shame around it. But her grandmother had always encouraged her to go back, but with her life headed the way it was for a while, it just wasn't in the stars. The final result of the reading was, yes, your grandmother is with you, but she's not as close as she'd like to be because her jewelry is still with your awful family member instead of you, who it was meant to go to. She really wants you to solve that situation, or if you're unable to maybe get a piece you can dedicate to her to start a new generational trinket. Be cautious of your husband, as he might do something without consideration for you that might end the marriage. Yes, I was very clear with her I could be wrong and that tarot cards are divination, not concrete truth. They still came true, though. Anywho, she also wants to tell you to go back to school and get your degree. By the end of all this, she was in tears on my living room floor because she never said any of this to me. Apparently, it was so accurate it changed her entire belief system right then and there. She only asked me to read for her if she is ready to hear the ultimate truth now. To add on, I seem to be rather lighthearted about her divorce, and it's because her husband is a scumbag. We've known it well before this reading. He once said, and I quote, when asked about his wife and their relationship, quote, "Well, I like her, but we're not, in love. She's pretty cool, though." Yes,
what?
This is after they had a child together and had been together for about 3 years.
What?
I know. She wasn't ready to accept it at the time I did the reading, but after he deployed, she finally got a taste of life without him. And when he did what he did, not the first time she did either, she was able to finally take off those rose-colored glasses.
Dang.
I know. Like, at least she got out of that. Ridiculous. Yeah. Sometimes it's very hard, like you're saying. Not sometimes, a lot of times. Like, it took my mom 18 years to leave my dad.
Man.
And she left him, like, 4 or 5 times in the middle of that, like, where they were gonna get divorced or separated or whatever.
And, you know, some people would be like, well, they're just dumb for staying with a toxic man. No, they're not dumb. They're
traumatized.
They're brainwashed. They, you know, have been made to to feel less than and lose their confidence. They are controlled in a way where they have very little ability to leave and still be able to live on their own. And or they are just really fucking strong, like mentally strong to put up with so much fucking bullshit.
Yeah.
For so long.
Honestly. It's getting over an hour now, so I figured I'll stop with my, with all the stories that I have.
One more short one?
Yeah, sure. I'll do one more short one. It's, from Reddit user Worm Parent. A friend of mine started talking to a guy she met on a dating app, and I did a spread about the relationship, what the relationship might be like. Just from his profile, I really didn't know the guy. I didn't have the most solid reasons, I guess, but I just thought she could do better, and thought the way he texted was cringe. I can't remember the exact cards I pulled, as this was quite some time ago, but the spread basically said he would be a very deceptive man, and the main issue in the relationship would be communication. Overall, it was a very negative spread, and she didn't believe it because she thought I was projecting my negative opinions of him onto the spread. Well, 2 months later, he showed his true colors and ghosted her. Also, a funny one that happened was I gave a reading to a friend of mine who doesn't believe in tarot at all, and the entire spread kept talking about pregnancy. Turns out he and his girlfriend had multiple pregnancy scares recently. Everything turned out okay for them, but it was pretty funny to see his face as the cards kept doubling down on the pregnancy theme.
Yeah.
Pregnancy. Yeah, I don't know. Here, I'll do one more, because I like this Reddit user's name, which is Fishbowl13. I had a dream about an accurate tarot reading for myself. Very recently. I dreamt I drew the Tower and the Sword card. I couldn't remember which one. In the dream, I somehow knew that it was an accurate reading, and in an almost dual present/future tense thought, I knew something catastrophic was going to happen. This was the first dream I've woken up and remembered in years, so I knew it had to be significant. I didn't want to forget, so I quickly wrote it down in my journal. Quote, dreamt of accurate tarot reading, drew the Tower and something else, something catastrophic happens, unquote. I literally didn't think about this again or remember it at all for the next 2 weeks. Later that day, the morning after the dream, my dog, basically my familiar, best friend, and only child as I didn't ever have human children, ate a bunch of tampons, and we had to take her to the animal ER. Over the course of the next 2 weeks, we put $15,000 on credit cards for her to have 2 major stomach surgeries and spend 6 nights at the emergency animal hospital.
$15,000?
I know. Dude, this happened 2 hours after my husband and I just bought a new car and put thousands towards the down payment. Between the car and the dog, we acquired $45,000 of new debt in 2 weeks. I still don't know the end of the fallout of this. Minimum payments haven't posted yet, or the CC monthly payments, the credit card monthly payments. Needless to say, it's changing the course we had set out for ourselves over the next several years. Our financial landscape is entirely different now. After those 2 weeks of life had settled down, I returned to my tarot journal and opened it to see my last entry. And there it was, my tarot dream that I had completely forgotten about. I broke down in tears. I was so mad at what had happened, almost losing my dog and destroying ourselves financially to save her, but also overwhelmed with the prophecy of the dream. Truly blew my mind.
Damn.
Yeah, that's a good one to end off on, huh?
No.
Dang.
The way I want to end is with a reading.
That's right. Okay, let me get settled on the floor so I have more space.
Read to me, witch.
Okay, can you still hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. And now, just give me a minute or two. I need to, center myself.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on. Okay. Do you have a specific like question or like a specific theme you want this to be about?
Do I need to say it out loud or just keep it in my head?
You can just kind of give me the general idea so I know how, like, what perspective to read from.
Our river property. How's that going to end up? What's our life going to look like there?
The river property. Okay.
Like, are we going to get our tiny home? Will it be soon? Will it be never?
Okay. Having to do with property. Alright, so I think for this I might do not like a super duper basic spread, but I'm not going to go deep into like a Celtic cross type of spread. How about we do a success spread?
Yeah, we're going to add like our own little home out there with the rest of the cabins.
Okay. Alright, so this is going to be a total of 5 cards. So I need to reframe the question in my head again, so just give me a couple seconds.
Okay.
Alrighty. So, the first card that I am pulling, this is pretty much your major issue. You know what card it is?
No.
The moon. Basically, it's kind of saying that things may not be what they seem initially. So trust your instincts and see past the obstacles. So basically, your obstacle or like the major issue is obviously you don't know if you're gonna get your little house or the cabin by the lake or what was it like or the river. Yeah, so see past the major obstacles because they can keep you blocked in essentially.
Okay.
And also be wary because this could be causing quite a bit of tension or mood swings or like fights, essentially arguments. Yeah, you want to not get so preoccupied with all of those disagreements and try to stay positive and look for the solution that you want, essentially. All right. Card 2 is the Queen of Cups.
Okay. Wait, hold up. Is that what you pulled for me at the beginning?
It was at the beginning, yes.
Before I started recording?
Mm-hmm.
And what did that mean again?
Basically, you're coming into confidence. You're coming into confidence and you've kind of attuned yourself to what you want or need out of this. And if you don't go in it with confidence, it's not going to, if we're looking at it the frame of this property situation, it's not going to come out all right. So, but it's also kind of a warning that don't be too overconfident because yes, there is a way for a positive about this. However, there looks to be a way that is positive at first, but it's going to bite you in the ass later. So, don't be too overconfident.
So be vocal about what I want, but be willing to compromise.
Pretty much. Yeah. All right.
That makes sense.
Third card, 10 of Wands. So this is pretty much, if there are any, in this placement, it shows what hidden problems there are. So the hidden problems are you're going to have that you're working for it, and I'm assuming this looks like money for putting it all together, or availability. I don't know. I have to pull the other 2 cards to really know. So the problem here is one of like the cabins, or because you want to build a mini home, right?
Yeah, or purchase. Yeah, haven't moved to that area. One or the other. We haven't decided.
Yeah. So if you build, it's okay because this is kind of like a 2 thing. So yes, put in the work, because it's saying like put in the work. So that to me feels like build it instead of moving something over there, if that makes sense. Because it's saying like you need to put in the work for this, because this is a hidden problem of things that you need to be aware of. So yes, the work is going to be hard, but it is going to be more satisfying, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, card 4, the King of Pentacles. So this is kind of how to resolve the issue, or a new perspective of the issue, or a potential scenario outcome. So the King of Pentacles, and how is the things that your husband has invested in, how is that monetarily?
As far as I know, it's doing really well.
Okay. Well, that's good, because King of Pentacles is about finding opportunities and attracting and managing wealth. So you want to make sure that you're in a completely good financial situation before you start building. However, it's kind of saying, yes, take a risk. You might think that, oh my gosh, we can't afford this, or like this investment won't be worth it. But it's trying to go back to the confidence back at the moon. Not back to the moon, back at the Queen of Cups.
Okay.
And saying, yes, it might actually feel like it's going to destroy you. However, you are finding those opportunities in wealth, and you've already achieved a lot of great things, like financially. So just lean on that, but don't be dumb. And make sure you enjoy the fruits of your labor, though, too. Like, and once you finally, don't get buyer's remorse either. Once you commit to it, commit to it.
That's James's area. I'm like, yeah.
We'll tell him not to have buyer's remorse.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
This
Overall,
is making a lot of sense.
Oh, that's good. Overall, the fifth card was the Page of Swords. The best outcome for this whole situation is obviously communication and talking. You know what's so funny about this card, too?
What?
If I recall correctly, one of the definitions that I read for this card, gosh, hold on. Let me pull out the book real fast.
Okay.
Okay. As a sword of cards relates to communication, this would be a great time to write a blog, a book, or start a podcast.
Okay.
I knew. Okay. But also like sharing ideas with people around you. So communication. Also not just leaning on your husband for like ideas on your little tiny home. Yes, it's going to be your guys' thing. And like he or you might think, why do those people have an opinion? Or why should they have an opinion on what we want to do? Well, it's because the opinion matters to you. So communicating, not only just taking what they say for like, oh yeah, we'll do it. You know what I mean? But it's okay to take the opinions and suggestions from your friend as well as from your partner. Now that I'm looking at this entire spread out, because a part of tarot reading is seeing how the cards relate to each other, not just like what the individual cards are saying. Because it's something that you really want to do. I'm seeing that there's going to be a more satisfaction if you guys build and build a tiny home, because you'll get what you want. Be confident about what you want, but also be open to, what's the word? Compromise.
Yeah. Okay.
And let people give you suggestions, because some people might have better ideas than you. Occasionally. I get that sometimes for me. I think I know everything, but then I would like tell about my problem to my friends, like my coworker, and she'll be like, you know what, maybe we should do this instead. I'm like, why didn't I even think of that? And she's like, that's why I'm here. I'm your other half of your brain. I'm like, yeah, you're right.
See, and now because I even had like the place and the type of model that I wanted to get for our, I say tiny home because that's what they're called at this place, but it's like over 2,000 square feet.
Really? Dang.
But now I'm thinking about building. I could get like a little tiny half wraparound porch with a swing.
Oh, you could. It'd be so cute. And sometimes building is cheaper than the buying.
That's what I was thinking. And we personally know two really good contractors that we have very close connections with. One of which is about to redo our entire backyard.
Okay.
So maybe we can talk to him and see how much it would be to build something.
And it might end up saving you extra money overall. Maybe less fighting on the money department, but more bickering on like what should we do department.
Yeah.
You could always take like a general floor plan of the models that are already built and kind of like copy and adjust.
Something
to what you want. Yeah, and that would make it really easy if you did that, so you didn't have to like start from scratch.
Yeah, or even because a lot of the tiny homes, the extra bedrooms are just like these lofts that you can't even stand up in. You just kind of walk up these little steps, or some of them ladders, and it's just tiny little loft that fits a bed. You can't even really sit up in the bed all the way without bunking your head. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just enough room to fit a bed, but I would like, even if they're very tiny rooms, the girls to have their room.
Yeah, and it'd probably be a lot easier for them to be happy in the room.
Maybe just like a very, very small room that you have just enough room to stand up in and open like a little tiny closet with some drawers on the bottom or something, you know?
Yeah, that could work. I want to see this little home when you have it built. Go on a vacation at the river.
Yeah, you can see it all the time when you move here.
That's right. You know, I just got to get on that, don't I?
Yes, we love float trips. We do float trips as often as we possibly can.
Especially with how hot it's been.
Yeah, and we have tons of like kayaks and tubes and canoes and all kinds of stuff you could float down in. So bring your butt. Let's go.
I could definitely bring my butt.
Yeah. Bring your butt and your husband and your son.
All right, everybody. I hope you've enjoyed this episode of Witchin' and Whinin'. I think we've enjoyed it. I really liked this one.
Yeah.
It's been fun hearing all the stories.
And reading, it was like spot on, and now I'm like rethinking everything.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, like in a good way. Like my mind's like excited about it.
Okay, well that's something I'm glad.
Yeah.
Because I personally would think, because I'm also in like a whole situation where it's like, okay, I want to build a bird aviary. Don't make fun of me.
Sorry. That's not where I thought you were going.
Well, it's like I could buy one or I can build one of my own design to fit my own space. You know what I mean?
Like for outdoors or indoors?
Yes.
For both. Okay, so like one that they could fly in and out. Oh my god! Okay, so it could be built outside and inside, and it could have like a couple little tiny doors, like kind of like doggy doors that flip in and out, but they're birdie doors.
Yes, exactly.
And they can go in and out as they please.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm so excited for you.
Yeah, so that, like, in a similar thing, like, it's easier to just buy one, because you don't have to think about the building or whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it's more satisfying, and it will fit my needs if I am able to design it myself.
That is so cool.
I know.
It'd be even better if you just waited until you moved here so that you didn't have to build another one.
You're right, I did. You know, I should have thought about that.
You really should have. You should have read your own cards. It would have told you the same.
Yeah, it really would have.
Okay, you guys, check out the Facebook. We're going to have, at least, you know, we're gonna, son of a bitch, words are hard. It's very late here right now. It's almost midnight. Okay, so check out our Facebook. We're going to be posting link to our sources. We will also put those links down in the description box of this podcast that you're listening to right now. And check out our Facebook. Like, rate, review, all of the things.
And please send us your stories.
Yes, your stories, your suggestions, ideas of what we should talk about, whatever. Or hell, just send us a message saying, hey, what's up? Or, hey, yeah, you so didn't pronounce that right. Or, you got that wrong. This is what's up. I don't know, just communicate
something.
With us.
Start the conversation.
Yes, with our email.
That's witchinandwhinin@gmail.com.
WITCHANDWINEN@gmail.com. You had such a southern accent when you said that. Witchin' and Whinin'.
You're rubbing off on me.
Yeah, witchinandwhinin@gmail.com.
WITCHANDWINEN@gmail.com.
Yeah.
I love these nights.
Yeah.
Right. Good night, everybody.
I've got to get the hell out of this closet. Everybody, I'm coming out of the closet.
Congratulate her.
Again.
She's my lover now.
Where do fortune tellers dance? I don't know where. At the crystal ball. Ba-doom-cha.